Welcome to the word for the day. I do not own the rights to this music. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 1 through 19. I will read both the King James Version and the Amplified Version. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear the Lord thy God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son, and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as the Lord God of thy fathers hath promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them upon the post of thy house, and on thy gates. And it shall be, when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities, which thou buildest not, and houses full of all good things, which thou fillest not, and wells digged, which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees, which thou plantest not, when thou shalt have eaten and be full. Then beware, lest thou forget the Lord, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name. Ye shall not go after other gods, of the gods of the people which are round about you. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Lord thy God be kindled against thee, and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. Ye shall not tempt the Lord your God, as ye tempted him in Massah. Ye shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God, and his testimonies, and his statutes, which he hath commanded thee. And thou shalt do that which is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest go in and possess the good land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, to cast out all thine enemies from before thee, as the Lord hath spoken. Now the Amplified Version of Deuteronomy chapter 6, beginning at verse 1. Obey God and prosper. Now this is the command, the statutes, and the judgments, precepts which the Lord your God has commanded me to teach you, so that you might do, follow, obey them in the land which you are crossing over the Jordan to possess, so that you and your son and your grandson may fear and worship the Lord your God with awe-filled reverence and profound respect, to keep and actively do all his statutes and his commandments, which I am commanding you, all the days of your life, so that your days may be prolonged. Therefore listen, O Israel, and be careful to do them, that it may go well with you, and that you may increase greatly in numbers, as the Lord, the God of your fathers, has promised you, in a land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God. The Lord is one, the only God. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and mind, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, your entire being. These words which I am commanding you today shall be written on your heart and mind. You shall teach them diligently to your children, impressing God's precepts on their minds, and penetrating their hearts with his truths, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk on the road, and when you lie down, and when you get up. And you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, forearm, and they shall be used as bands, frontals, frontlets, on your forehead. You shall write them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates. Then it shall come about, when the Lord your God brings you into the land which he swore, solemnly promised to give your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give you a land with great and splendid cities, which you did not build, and houses full of all good things, which you did not fill, and hewn, excavated cisterns, wells, which you did not dig out, and vineyards and olive trees, which you did not plant, and you eat and are full and satisfied. Then beware that you do not forget the Lord, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall fear only the Lord your God, and you shall serve him with awe-filled reverence and profound respect, and swear oaths by his name alone. You shall not follow other gods, any of the gods of the peoples who surround you. For the Lord your God is among you, is a jealous, impassioned God, demanding what is rightfully and uniquely his. Otherwise, the anger of the Lord your God will be kindled and burn against you, and he will destroy you from the face of the earth. You shall not put the Lord your God to the test, as you tested him at Massah. You shall diligently keep foremost in your thoughts and actively do the commandments of the Lord your God, and his testimonies, and his statutes which he has commanded you. You shall do what is right and good in the sight of the Lord, so that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land, which the Lord swore to give your fathers, by driving out all your enemies from before you, as the Lord has spoken. The end. God bless you, and thank you for joining me today.